afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Propagandacast. Here with me, a host Imperial Name Master, Propaganda, Hero of the Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. All Theater 1 vs 1 on Famine will approach. Between in the west, we got here SCC Macos fighting for the Soviet Union. For the glory of the Soviet peoples here with the 10th Tank Corps. And these we got here Cataclaw fighting for Germany. The Oberkommando West Einzelkampfgruppe Meyer. And he's got here immediately chosen Scavenge Doctrine versus Macos here with Reserve Army, Soviet Shock Army, and got Motor, Bulletins for Infantry, Anti-Tank Guns, and 3 Sniper Bulletins. We all got a pretty good engagement here. So we got Macos already rushing towards the fuel point. In this case, he's probably doing just to tie up this jump pass and sort of slow down the fuel point, but grabbing there. But at the same time, using his engineers forward. Not really the most combat effective method of doing it. Also slows down his capturing power here. So while trying to pull off shock tactics, I would not say it's the most efficient thing. In this case, you can just still hide out here, right behind the wooden cart there with all the hay in it, and just still grab the point there. So that didn't quite, I would say, work out there for Macos as fully intended, and rather has given Cataclaw here in the early moments a bit of sort of capture power there. Cheese bagging up there to sort of deny cover. Rather cheesy. Do hope Relic looks into fixing that soon enough, seeing as there's apparently a big update coming at the end of this month. Of course, as soon as I know something about it, I'll of course be making a video on about the details and so on there, so rest assured you will not be left out of the loop there. Sturmpanzer in there goes pushing straight forward, of course going to tap the Sturmpanzer, but still, because they have sort of double back and forth, going to make a bit tricky for them, but it does ensure, for example, the Ultra can't push it with the Sturmpanzer, he's allowed to grab Territory Ultra, but it's not without its risks. In this case, he's not quite waking up fully there. He's not quite so getting his shots in the Sturmpanzer, so if he just hung around for a bit longer, he might be at least kill one Sturmpanzer, thus diminishing the firepower. Consequence trying to begin to push southwards. We got more folks going here for Cataclaw, more infantry being pushed forward. Scavenged here by the very commonly chosen Oberkommando West Doctrine, grenades, salvage. Jaeger infantry, of course, is quite popular to be sort of used heavily due to their decent effectiveness supporting other infantry. So again, we just basically just using a few units to keep the Sturmpanzer sort of pinned down. They can't really do a lot there. They can't really grab territory. They can't do a lot of damage half the time there. So in that sense, it's looking decently okay for Mac. There you go. They're really going in a concept we want to do it. And support with engineers, they might get to do some better jobs than versus them, but it's not quite working out. Concept hang about there, and we got concept grabbing territory. Southern fuel but also being grabbed here by Cataclaw. So Kampfgruppe Sturmpanzer under fire from the engineers, or conscripts. Now got engineers will flank in, and that could catch the engineers in a bit, or Sturmpanzer a bit of tricky situation. But then again, the conscripts end up retreating. So they might end up using the building itself, or no, might just not care. We've got conscript flank in, then instead of pushing in through here, decides to divert the conscript support up here, and there you go, pushes back the Sturmpanzer. Finally, we get a fourth Volkskriegs squad there on the way for Cataclaw. Heavy Volksgrenadier build with a half track on the way there as well. Doctrine here. I mean, there's grenade and infiltration tactics, but otherwise, Doctrine doesn't really give you a lot there to work with in terms of sort of heavy Volksgrenadier tactics. Generally, none of the Doctrines do. Volksgrenadier on the fire for the conscript, still he's going to lose the fuel point there. Volksgrenadier flanking in behind, good work. Got conscript there, grabbing territory, we're not really doing much, and we've got more engineers out here for Macos. Quickly indicating several flamethrowers to deal with sort of dug in German elements, amongst other things. They will shoot out there. Volkskriegs moving ahead. Slowly but surely. A bit more shooting there, conscripts, and a bit of fighting here as well. Conscripts being caught on some sides. These matches are at the point neutral, but beyond that, there's not really so much there. Versus Cataclaw, more troops continuing to support them, coming up here. So Macos probably planning Maxims and mortars in the fight here. Going down there. But so far most of the focus there is on the north here around the fuel point. Basically all the fight's been focused there. Flamethrowers going up here, denying the building. 2 Cataclaw's infantry, they're going to have to fall out there. But, oh, there we go. Right before they lost any, but there you go. Comes getting in, and there you go. Give fighter Fritz orders men to fall back before any unnecessary losses suffered. Got a unit here holding up the gap. Heavy cover prepare for themselves to make them easy to defend the point here. Well done there by Cataclaw, but then just having out of that, they do actually do the flamethrowers receive a bonus against units in heavy cover. They're not quite as big as the one versus units inside buildings. Constantly moving up there. No rule the advantage here versus the Volkskriegs should be complete. Now they're constantly up close, the Volkskriegs on half health. They're just getting shredded there. Then we got more German infantry arriving. We've got fighting in the south as well. Again, right here in this case, the Volkskriegs might have a slight advantage, but even then the conscripts can't sort of gain the lead as long as they don't lose too much there. Might just be able to defending it here for Germany. Looks like it, looks like it. But a lot of casualties already. Corpses just piling up around this fuel point. Just so many dead already. My God. All of this for some fuel. Well, technically, Dieter, this is more like a theoretical representation. This is more like a strategic, value to the point given to it by high command. Technically, this point doesn't actually provide fuel in any way or matter. It's just high command has decided this point is really valuable. So, they just died? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Troops reinforcing. We've got a maximum out there for Macos. Mechanized rating maps of Cataclaw, planning here for some luxes to punish the infantry with. Not a bad idea though, of course, with the maximum outside there, he can quickly go for, say, a field gun. You could also go for reserve army, call in anti-tank partisans. We could go guards mode and just call in guards infantry. I mean, there's a few options there. We got Jaegers out here for Cataclaw, quickly sneaking up there, arriving behind the Russians, opening up there with their rifles, including one scope D43. The marksman work there. Further fighting here for the southern fuel point. Football's holding up, but just barely. They are really low on health here. And Cataclaw's men there will not be able to fight on for much longer. Further fighting here, early punch strike already from Cataclaw, taking no chance there versus Macos, though again, he's been able to control the fuel points quite nicely, so I think Cataclaw might be a bit skittish there, or just doing it because he can, who knows. He could also lay down a lot of mines instead. Strong Punish is full supporting south first, but we're starting to see now Macos are beginning to gain the map here on a larger basis. He's been able to sort of tie down a larger force around here, so that's kind of working out there. Go with the maximum map control will certainly further be to his advantage. He's now controlling the center of the map here. And there we go, it is Reserve Army, submachine guns, anti-tank partisans, artillery, rapid conscription, and repair kits, all there available now for Cataclaw. There we go, grenade assault, action against the maximum. They're almost wiping out the entire lot. They're full swing, got another grenade off. They're almost, could he get the maximum? Could he get the maximum there before the retreat? Shoot, men, shoot before it gets cut to the... Ah, scheiße. Nice shooting, Helmut. I just wish you'd hit sooner. Also, there is conscripts out in the open. We've got maximum that are going to be grabbed by the engineers. Nothing here about support either. Troops reinforcement. We've got a look down the way for Cataclaw. So it's going to have the light tank advantage in Macos against Macos this time again, because, well, he was basically able to better control the fuel points compared to his opponent. But Macos is having none of that. He's quickly bringing up the anti-tank partisans with their Pilfered Panzerschrecks. Points there being grabbed. Filter is falling back. Troops reinforcing. No veterans on over the steel pilots who can't lay down medical supplies to help them with. And there we go, grabbing the point there, grabbing points here. Jaegers doing a bit of work they can here on their own. Bits around it, behind enemy lines. In the south, Fulters make more progress, not Fulters Grenadiers. I'm saying. There you go, Luke's setting out of the clear Panzer. Conscript there caught in a nasty position. In the south, folks go slowly creeping ahead there. No sandbags hit into the building, but not before Reinhardt is dead. They're going to use the next target here of Simon's Aufklärungspanzer. And it's a 2cm cannon. Boris cut down in his prime. Sergei follows with him into the next one, and so does Yuri and Vasily rapidly. The south fighting continues to versus the conscripts. Also, they'll take some losses. Maximum opening up. You got anti-tank partisans here. Though with no major effect coming up, you have to anti-tank grenades here. So Macos is pretty much prepared here for any armor. And use it. About to go up. We could see another one there against Macos. The Luke's really just tearing his men apart there. Still will help. No, he draws away. He draws away. Wisdom to say there by Cataclaw. And you know what? They would have been pretty good. Field gun away there. Got some machine guns. Goes for his firepower. Looks rushing down here. And we just got lots of troops running away here. In fact, now the entire southern part of the map is open, and the north one isn't exactly strong. Help there you go. Conscripts against the Steel Pioneers. Hoorah! Up close to the submachine guns. There you go. The Steel Pioneers are wiped. Now that's going to hurt Cataclaw a bit. Then we've got a truck out. The water resource is going to go for the battle headquarters. Still losing the Steel Pioneers. The firepower they can bring to the table will hurt Cataclaw. They're going to tank grenades. Doesn't really use the about to punish the looks further. Don't know the manpower for an anti-tank pass, another team, and the ones that are there are going to take some time to arrive.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
So we'll of course have to see how that works out. Group headquarters up there for Cataclaw, so they'll provide healing and perhaps any light vehicles you want, but in most cases, if you go for it after a mechanized regiment, you're most likely just only going for it for the healing. Excellent moving up, we got nothing further here from Macos. It could at this point consider taking up, but no sign of that as of yet. Looks making its way back to 11 points. Cataclaw once more on the counter-offensive as a Kampf Maya. More puncher strikes there. Again, he's preparing, gearing up for the inevitable armored assault there from Macos. Though Macos so far he's making no overt moves towards it. Instead, further just focusing what he's got there in the early tiers.
The sector is at risk.
Also, a lot of munitions there floating about. You could consider arc crates, you could consider mines. Even tripwire fire mines in the right place can do a lot of damage. There go Jaegers fighting against the consciousness there runs further. Few losses there inflicted. Veteran to 1, 8 kills already. Grenade assaulting might just be what the Jaegers need to pull through. Looks like they're going for it. Instead they lose one man there and they go for retreat. Just pushing up here, Fulsker supporting out the tank marks up here. Can't quite hit the looks, which is right full range here. Further pressure is around the fuel point. Feelgun there waiting, ready to ambush anything.
Enemy forces capturing supply
looks
sector.
forced up to a very, very far removed path there. Fulker's here halted by the Maxim. Strong push here by Macos, making use of the house. Feelgun and other things there to make it difficult for Cataclaw to actually defend the point. He needs to get Feelgun just a bit closer. In the south, things aren't really progressing that well for Macos. A single squad has been sent in and it is quickly being stopped by the German infantry. Points there being grabbed. Need to adjust that microphone properly. My apologies there. Bit awkward since sort of more of a thing you can adjust, which generally needs to quickly gets better at a shame and constantly have to sort of, set it back in place. And of course adjust the volume. Since it does remember the adjustments every time, long down the couple. So again, my apologies there. It makes for some slightly awkward things. Just bring in the counter focus on the heavy fire. Just moving in from several sides. Overall, though, Macos is still a bit at the back foot there. Though one thing he does have the advantage, it would seem, over Cataclaw is the victory points. He has got quite the lead there over Cataclaw. But that is slowly diminishing. Just moving forward there, conscious hanging out. Feelgun not really within range, still going for the fuel point there. Still no tech up for Macos. He really should consider getting up some armor here. Do a lot there versus the looks, but of course also a bit versus the infantry. We see goes for a T70. Grenade assault, but not very well thrown there. Set the Jaeger suffer heavy losses, leading up behind the stone wall. More stone piles there for Cataclaw. Further fighting here. Fulsker versus Maxim. Maxim out in the open. Fulsker is not. They have the advantage then. We got another Jaeger unit here for Cataclaw from the 100th Jaeger Division.
We are losing supplies to
Quick
the
front
enemy.
against the Maxim. We got a lot of conscripts ready to move in and save the day. Just no tech on. We got rapid conscription now here from Macos. Good lord. That's going to make it much more dangerous to contend with. That allows him to be a lot more aggressive as long as that's for enemy units where he can just overall just hit the field with a lot more conscripts, pressuring Cataclaw a lot more and overall just taking more favourable engagements. Since manpower losses won't be as high in a sense. I mean, he'll still have to replenish his troops he lost, but he'll be getting full conscript supports in return for those single squad losses. I mean, that's the thing to the amount of rapid conscription, relief infantry on there. It does not work when you lose an entire squad. You just have to lose squad members. Lose 6 squad members, for example, from different squads, you get a fresh squad. So in that sense, rather something to do while you're being aggressive, you're going to suffer losses anyway, so you might as well cut them down a bit and get some extra troops out of it. That's basically how it works. So far, Macos, I would say, could be a lot more aggressive with this. He's rather ending up, I feel, wasting a bit some more of that munitions. I mean, it's still 120 munitions. That's not something we should be taking lightly. But Macos as offensively continues. Comes down to 5 from the looks. They're going in. Just be aggressive, Macos, just be aggressive. Again, you don't want to waste the munitions. Just do as much damage as you can. There we go, replacement squad number 1 arrives. You can retreat here and work with other troops. Up north here. Maxim versus Jaegers and Fulton's doing some damage there. So far, one squad, come on. Macos, be more aggressive. Deal more damage, soak up more damage.
We have more conscripts at our
And there we go. It has paid itself off. He's now got 2 extra conscripts on which to pressure Cataclaw, going from all of a sudden 3 squads to 5 squads of conscripts. That's a bit of a numerical boost there for Macos. They're taking heavy damage. In the capital, of course, in the Macos, they just suffered too many losses. Meanwhile, Cataclaw looks to be planning to take up already. Have good. Probably could have done it sooner, but still, maybe some Obsoldaten or some Panzer IV right now doing quite well. A bit further fighting here, conscripts, anti-tank hunters, field guns moving about. He's still going for the field point, still just pressuring it, constantly striking Cataclaw. There's one of his weak points. Conscripts versus Jaegers, he's not paying attention, taking needless losses, troops and enforcing. He's not upgrading on the fresh arrived squads. Oh, there you go, something on the way there. Doesn't look good though there. Jaegers look like they will end up losing here. There we go. Down to 1 man. France complete. Mines going off there. We got Cataclaw pushing towards the grabbing territory. Victory points wise, he's managed to turn things around. There you go. Macos, by the way, has finally tagged up there. Rather late tier 2 there from the Soviets. Getting a T-70. Punch there taking heavy damage, getting murdered there by Panzer 6 and Kar-98K fire. And there you go, Schwer Panzer quarters finally going up for Cataclaw. I mean, he's basically managed to get all 3 trucks up, whereas Macos has just got 2 buildings up. I mean, that's not exactly what called deep efficient Soviet taking. A very good speed either. We're finding here those submachine guns, death, assaults. Going against the Jaegers, grenadiers hold up close, but still. Oh! Not a single kill though. Not a single kill. Of course, the Jaegers couldn't finish off the survivors, but still, that's got to, feel bitter at some point there. T-70 now rushing in and finding a bit of light armor for Macos and the 10th Tank Corps. We can probably take up soon, go some more, but there you go. Jaegers squad here looks opening up the conscripts. Jaegers in a lot of trouble. There we go. Down to 1 man. And up here we got conscripts versus Storm Pioneers. Storm was making short work this time around of the conscripts. We got conscripts staying back as well. Could do with some pulling back for reinforcements. Maxim covering here. T-70 not doing anything further. Could stand to try and pressure more against Cataclaw. Look for units there to sort of a bit separate on their own and then wipe them out. Also looks like Macos there lost his tank hunter partisans.
Enemy forces capturing
Unfortunate. Going for a wipe. They're going for a wipe against one of the conscript squads there, and looks like he'll succeed. Looks almost ready to there go. T-70 to the rescue. Engaging the fascist scum. So basically digging in around the car front here, but basically cancelled to prevent Macos from getting much use of the northern points. Looks conscripts, full squads, all they're just fighting here. T-70 staying in distance due to the presence of the full squads with a Panzer 6 rather dense net now anti-tank fire. Storm Pass was holding up by the Maxim defending the victory point there. And T-70 trying to support the Maxim as well. Southern points are being grabbed by the engineers. Victory points wise, now Macos is slowly going to turn things back against Cataclaw once more, slowly gaining a fresh lead. Especially against the conscripts, groups firing away, almost 52. Death is on the horizon. There we go. Fulton's being overwhelmed by conscripts, submachine guns, and the T-70, and it's 45mm gun. Jaegers quickly intercepting here, trying to cover up the retreat there, doing their best to save their comrade from total annihilation. Here, conscripts cut down rather violently by the looks, and there we go. Jaegers now the intention of the conscripts taking damage. Looks like they can. We also got the T-70 moving in, doing what it can. And a grenade assault, saw this happening. Conscripts almost knocked out by the severe amount of munitions thrown, and Macos is once more just sweeping past Cataclaw, seizing most of the map. Almost got all 3 victory points again. Almost got all 2 fuel points as well. Really just gaining a massive upper hand there against Cataclaw. We're roughly hitting the mid-game mark there as well. Right now, certainly would not be a bad idea then for Macos to consider taking up further. Or perhaps another bout of rapid conscription. Mines would also, I think, be a good choice here and there to slow down an attacker, an invader. Demo charges could also work out. So far, no sign of that here for Macos. For Cataclaw, he's got the Spear Panzer quarters up, but yet to utilise it. No Orbital Soldaten, no Panzerkampfwagen 4. Da needs an manpower. There's a lot of action left and right here. T-76 out again. Consequence submachine guns moves forward. There we go. Quickly equalising the difference between the two. Jaegers here winning against the Max out in the open. The heavy cav there proving to be their salvation against the Marxists. And there you go, looks like again for further damage, having to completely unravel the south as he's working in the centre there, not much broken made here by Cataclaw in the north. Macos is one making a move towards the fuel point, and we take it back there. Get at it. Go, let's go! And there we go. Fulton's pinned down here with an action in the middle of the road. They are just bleeding out, dying out, and dropping left and right. And here where the fuel pump things are not still much better. Counter attack here, and there we go. Mine actually was laid down. Jaegers were wiped out. Good work there by Macos. Good work. Good work. And there we go. Another rapid conscription. He's really just playing on heavy aggressive infantry tactics, and as long as sort of just get some casualties while he's doing this overall, it'll be a net gain since he'll just allow him again more infantry just to pressure with, of course, at the same time keeping up too much, he'll just suffer from manpower bleed. And of course, one thing for Max to consider is trying to take up and get out some bigger armor himself. He certainly has the fuel for it by now. Cataclaw armor should certainly also be considered, but we will talk about here in the mid-game analysis. Damage-wise, they're actually really close to each other. Killed-wise, Cataclaw is very much ahead. Again, a lot of infantry, bigger squads, rapid conscription and so on. They're rather sort of makes for that, though Cataclaw's also been able to do some good damage here and there against Macos. In terms of army value, we can though see that Cataclaw's actually quite far ahead there of Macos throughout the match. That's actually quite interesting to look at. In terms of resource float, again, he's not been quite floating there compared to Macos, which certainly has been in points held again, though. Also a bit more mixed, but still, this is a bit interesting. Bit of a difference between the two players, but again, we can see Macos is now really catching up there. Though again, would also probably benefit from some armor himself, sort of quickly follow up with more equipment of the bigger kind. T-34s, H-85s, Katyushas, all that I think would be quite good here for Macos versus Cataclaw. So that's something that's considered. But you should definitely consider more mines, more things to blow up any attacking Germans, dealing with harassers as well, bleeding out or just slowing down any advance that Cataclaw might have, dealing with flanking elements as well, tanks or infantry. So in that sense, that's really, I think, something Macos should consider. Oh, let's take up, get that mechanized armor company out, get out some armor as soon as possible from it. I think that would really be something Macos would benefit from greatly. Oh, it's not so much else to sort of comment on there. Tactically sort of approaching things nicely. It's just strategically he needs to sort of pick up his game a bit. For Cataclaw, getting out some armor as soon as possible. We're good again, Panzer IV. He could go for an Osprey, but it wouldn't even be vulnerable if, say, Macos right now actually going for mechanized armor company. So I think a Panzer IV at least first would be good. Supported with some orbs down the road for some extra added anti-infantry, in particular with all these conscripts. I think some light machine guns there would do him quite well. And I think would also work nicely there with the remaining Jaeger squad he does have. Otherwise, mines from Cataclaw would also be a sterling choice, to be honest. Also a bit more pressure in the south, but otherwise not so much else to say about Cataclaw as well. So I think that rather covers things here, so let us return to the fight and see what actually happens and what happens next.
Supply sector under attack.
Another push there, but halted. Jaeger's back here reinforcing veterans defeat, so they're getting definitely good there. Another push here from the German infantry field being caught out on the open. We got the T-70 sitting up once more. Under fire there from the full Grenadiers for their Panzer X. But quickly suffering losses there. The South Army still on. He's not really got any units back from there. Godzilla strike in here. Liked his Feldhau bits, unleashing hell from above. He's not even carrying guys, he's just trying to trigger more if King comes. The thing is, with the explosions, there might not quite be a sort of definite. No, never mind. King's replacement at the same time also suffered a loss there, so it ends up, I suppose, paying itself off a bit there. Got one squad as a net there, but still suffered some grievous losses. But the Soviets, by the way, as they continue towards Germany, would generally recruit amongst the locals, will forcefully conscript in many cases, just to add them to their armies. Sort of a little fun detail there. And of course, also the case of basically the Romanian army, although only a part of it, also, of course, being forced into the fight as well, fighting for the Russians. I think they formed up what roughly could be described as an army corps themselves. I think roughly 200,000 men or something like that. I might be wrong here. Can't quite remember the specifics. They were used rather viciously though by the Soviet masters.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Forces they're taking heavy damage from the conscripts. Submachine guns, they're gunning into them in the north here. More territory being grabbed. And there we go. Macos is finding also scripting on the northern points there as the forces breach through. We got they're counterattacking the submachine guns with the rifles. T-70 is somewhat supporting. And there we go. We have the tech up fine here from Macos. Mechanized armor company. About time. Still no sign of armor there for Cataclaw. Don't tell me he's playing for a King Tiger. That would say it would be pretty risky. And of course, give more time here for Macos just to meet and drive victory point. Really, I think, create a low room for error there for Cataclaw, if that's what he's actually playing for. Very low room for error, very low margin. So that's a bit risky there, what he's playing at, if that is very much what he's playing at. I mean, could roll now, Pants falls up, pressing the infantry and so on there. We need just so much infantry. We got 6 squads of conscripts for Macos right now. Very infantry formation here from the Russians. The Soviets. Reinforcing, healing up here, back at base, and there you go. First tank on the way there. Well, the bigger tank for the Soviets, the T-34-76. Comes down to fire from Jaegers from several sides. Jaegers were basically a sort of, well, divisions, a light infantry assault unit. Might have actually been equipped heavily with the submachine guns. I've not really found any sort of further description on that. They were basically sort of just, for sort of rough terrain guys, just assault units attacking here and there. They didn't have a lot of heavy equipment with them, actually. Look, setting out there in the north, fighting has died down a bit. Victory point wise, Macos is still there in lead. They go looking for Jaegers from the T-70, fighting away there. Of course, one of the tricks looking at us at the T-70 is to stop, shoot, then move. The T-70, like most Soviet tanks and for that matter German tanks, tends to be a lot less accurate on the move. It's only the American and the British tanks who sort of shoot more accurately on the move. Little fun detail there. Looks like the T-70, getting some hits in there with the 45mm gun.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Looks down to half health, but it's also now veteran T-3. And there you go, T-50 forcing to run to the 76.2mm gun. Misses the looks though, misses. And unfortunately that blocks the path, showing that Macos will not pursue. Allowing Cataclaw there to salvage the looks for now and get it fixed out. But veteran T3, 32 kills. Nicely played there. Jaegers was confident in the north there. We got Storm Pioneers charging through the Russian lines. Past broken bodies. And shattered lines. South there's now where really sort of Macos sort of shifting his focus. The north is pretty much abandoned in favour of their basically shifting the entire weight of his forces. Volkov, there we go. Nice flank here, but the Storm was getting past it. But again, another rapid conscription. It's actually been some time since I've seen any player just use rapid conscription. It's a potent ability though, really. Potent ability when utilised properly. Because it just means, you can't just, do as much damage as you can to the Russians so easily. Because when even if they sort of just lose men, there'll still be a replacement squad so there for them. So it basically means they're sort of getting caught up in a bit of a battle of attrition there. Victory points wise, he's really fun. He is actually playing here straight for the King Tiger, the Madman. Pretty risky here. Macos, I think, might be sensing as well. He's not why he's gone for another T-54 man playing position. Oh dear, crushing the pinned Jaegers. And there you go. Veteran T3 for the T-7 light take up further fighting here. But force being pushed back. Now again, a counter offensive from the north. Conscripts, Maxims. And of course, just all fueled by rapid conscription and the induction of fresh recruits into the Russian armies to fuel Macos' advance towards Berlin. Jaegers there holding up. Troops going towards the central victory point. Cataclaw is desperate just to slow down the tide. There, the bleed. Troops pressed. That's a maximum there. Go T-70 structures as well. Compelling a full retreat there. Almost hit there, almost. Patrol posting south, so of course they've got the T-54 nearby. He's not going for any more. Has he just forgotten about it? Or no, he's going for Katyusha now. There's a King Tiger that might actually hurt, but then again, if he's just focused on defending the points there, the Katyusha would actually serve better. Because they can just bleed the infield. You just keep the King Tiger, you know, from doing too much damage. Just keep sort of shifting about and just somehow focus on the victory point. I mean, he can't hold it all on with the King Tiger. That can only be at one victory point at a time. So if he plays his cards correctly, and Macos could still win it. But considering what's hitting the field, it might be a bit ill-advised to go for Katyusha. Of course, Macos isn't aware of it, though he should be hearing it soon. Though I mean, the King Tiger makes a pretty distinctive sound on the battlefield. Pretty distinctive. You can usually hear it from quite some distance away. They're going to caught on the high velocity 88mm gun of the King Tiger, the Königstiger. They're going through there wiped, probably annihilated entirely. There we go. Even a few men who got too close got wrecked there. They got Sergei, he wasn't even manning it. What monsters! That's not how it works, Petrov. That is not how it works. Comes down to fire from the Jaegers. Losses being inflicted in the south. They've got points being grabbed. T7 continues to move about. King Tiger hit. We got T-54 trying to flank in. They're not bad. Oh, he's going for T-54. He's going to need a tank to where they presume what to do. And again, rapid conscription. Really? That's the 4th time. And it's definitely some time since I've seen that. Last time I think I saw it, I was the one playing against the Russians.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Still, potent ability properly wielded. Maximum though, annihilated here for the King Tiger. That King Tiger is just on a wild chase. And there you go, using the T7 to grab territory by the way. Good use. Again, a rarely utilised ability, but nicely done there. King Tiger might come in there, looks like got as well. Eventually, 4T-54 moving in. Katyusha also firing, unleashing rocket hell there, though against the King Tiger, which is less advised. T7 pulling back, got the point there. T7 is heavily damaged there. King Tiger moving in. Jaeger, Storm Pioneers. Still, he's got most of the victory points, 63 points left there for Cataclaw. Getting desperate here for the counter cover Maya, which is probably what's caught in the Königstiger here to try and break the stalemate. Which is something that favours the German army. Oh. Fulton versus conscripts, just 3. He's got 8 squads of conscripts now. That's a lot of infantry. That is a lot of infantry there for Macos. You can just hit the field, just hold it. I mean, again, he just can play around the King Tiger. He might be able to do it. The thing is, the amount of infantry, probably can't get away with it. To be upgrades to the mobile submachine, he can just sweep away the rest of the troops there. Comes to taking damage. He's actually running after the King Tiger with infantry approach. He's just trying to avoid it. Just maybe use some as bait to keep it running here and there, but otherwise just focus and control the map from the sheer sweeping numbers of troops that he's got there. Force was a conscript there, T-54 falling back, 1 unit wipe there. Casualties are beginning to pile up here for Macos. In fact, 8 squads might be too much for him to handle in terms of infantry. And there go another wipe there. They look to take heavy casualties out there. And of course the King Tiger is not helping either in the preservation of his men. So right there, the Germans are culling out the numbers. Purge has been commenced. That's the Wehrmacht. Action now on the run from the Königstiger. So rather than trying to play around, he actually started to directly engage the King Tiger around it. I think that might have been ill-advised to put a mark there by Macos. Chose poorly, if you will, and now his King T-54 trying to flank out there. Not bad, not bad. King Tiger, there was damage on the tank, and there you go. T-34 76 knocked out. Had it been a bit more veteran out at my speed, might be able to pull it off. Getting a field goal there, Macos, in fact, right now, without any real serious matters of dealing with the King Tiger. Right now, Cataclaw sort of got a bit of time there, though. At the same time, things are desperate for Cataclaw. He's down to 8 victory points here. Any good maneuver here from Macos could be devastating damage in the King Tiger. He needs just to hold 1 victory point and the other. If he just can grab one for a moment there, he can pull it off. But of course, the question is now suffering huge losses, which rather puts it beyond his means there. He not ground safe for the King Tiger again, just kept playing around. He probably would have won by this point. So now things have rather become more challenging here for Macos and the 10th Tank Corps. Calling in field guns, but he needs more armor. He needs probably some tanks for his help there, and some tanks to keep running around corners with the King Tiger. He's closing in there, better to run for the Königstiger there, Mr. Cataclaw. Also there, repulsed very, very bloodily, though also at a high cost there to the Fultz Grenadiers. More casualties sort of carrying the ground. 30 kills there. I mean, really, he's done a lot of damage. We've got 48 on the looks here. Veteran 25. And Ace of the reconnaissance crew. A few hits down the Koenigsee over there. Go. Quick response there from German High Command, and artillery barrage has been called in. Massive firing down there on the place. Almost getting the Maxim or the field gun. No rapid conscription here by from Macos. As part now probably helping again. He just needs numbers now, so he's just trying to again swarm the field. Hit as many points that more than Cataclaw can defend. But here we've got Puma moving towards the east. Interesting decision by the way that he went for a Puma at this point. He's mostly dealing with infantry, but he still went for a Puma, not saying another Lux or a Panzer IV actually, or even an Ostwind. I mean, all of those I think would have been better choice here than the Puma. So I'm a bit curious as to why Cataclaw went for a Puma at this point. What compelled him? Was it simply the T-70 that basically made Cataclaw think, I need a Puma? Or was there something else going on there? Sandbag going around the centre victory point again. We can see just Cataclaw trying to defend them, and overall his doctrine isn't quite so suited for defence, so it makes it a bit more tricky. I mean, as you see in defence, not defence but fortification, we would lay down bunkers, S-mine fields, trenches, flag emplacements, and then Luftwaffe again. You've got MD-34s and all the other, some of the bits as well there, but he isn't. So he's got none of that. He's gone scavenge. So the trick is for him to sort of defend it properly, and that's a bit more difficult here with what he's got. But right now, again, he's sort of extended further control to the third victory point. They're a bit risky. I mean, 1-1 move again could result Macos since suddenly getting domination, but it's working out there. It's working out because so far Macos is responding by spreading out his forces thinly as well, and that's rather, in this case, working out to the advantage of Cataclaw, in particular. The Lux can easily deal with a single squad here and there, and the King Tiger can also affect the battlefield a lot more that way. It's a bit of a tricky situation here. Cataclaw still holding on 8 points. Points taken down there for Macos. Puma getting some hits as well off. More Jaegers here for Cataclaw. No orbital damage, but they'd probably be helpful in particular because they could lay down booby traps to help him defend the points. I think would be a pretty good choice there for Cataclaw, but then again, so can the Jaegers. No. Admittedly, you don't see Jaegers very much lay down any booby traps at all, though. Very much an option there, very much an option. Here, which is a bad situation there. Damage engine getting cranked up in the T-7. There you go. Puma was in support field and also there. Tries to turn about, makes explosive rear hit to the King Tiger. Side. There we go. Puma almost down, Puma almost down. Main gun wrecked. Slim of health. He's got nothing nearby trying to deal with it. Might just be able to escape here with the Puma. Katyusha firing in there, trying to show the German infantry, but not quite succeeding. Air 5. Tank so moves up. Got the Puma. Damn close there, but ultimately the Puma did not get away there. They take just a slightly longer route there. You might have been able to avoid there the shot of the Issue 5, but no such luck there for Cataclaw. Or such decision for that matter. Jaeger is firing up, pushing back the contact, going for the fuel point there. Still quite a struggle here for Macos. 43 kills than the King Tiger. I mean, this is a well-handled King Tiger, though again, Macos has rather been feeding a lot of infantry. I mean, again, he did pretty much just rush it with all of his infantry initially, which wasn't perhaps as smart as it did. But then, I mean, Cataclaw has been sat using it like, a doorstop either, which again is what some overcommander players do when they actually go for the King Tiger. Just go, well, it looks really pretty over there in that corner that the enemy can't shoot at it. Yeah. But Cataclaw's definitely got a bit more of the right idea here about the King Tiger. He's definitely had an impact on Macos, who's now just low munitions. It seems like he's just forgotten his gut rapid conscription, or perhaps he's just unsure what to do anymore. Perhaps he's been paralysed here by the sudden turnaround by Cataclaw, the stabilisation of his situation. The King Tiger, the Jaegers, the Lux here, just everything. Who knows, but he's got so much munitions there, he could just go for rapid munitions, trying to hit the field with a bit more troops there. Pull up with some, I don't know, more HD5s there as the King Tiger and the Lux. Back to your wipe, back to your wipe. And annihilated, but also unit wipe there against Cataclaw, who's now getting a Stukas of Fuß. Now cancels it, more Fultz Grenadiers, more infantry. Doesn't want to be left without some numbers. Intrusive Veterans 1 HG5 almost fixed up. Still no rapid conscription. I do think that's, again, a bigger mistake here. I mean, he used it so much before, yet all of a sudden, he stopped using it entirely. Probably when he needs it the most, to be honest.
Enemy down to 100 points.
Pushing towards the centre. With what little forces he's got left here, Macos is just taking a beating. He's down to 92 points there. The southern point is likely to defend it, but he's just not going towards it anymore. King Tiger once more rose ahead. A lumbering giant of German death and steel. Almost 52 there.
Grenadiers ready.
More strong pioneers there for Cataclaw.
Enemy to 75 points.
There's 80 points now here for Macos. Units are not good. There we go. She fast shoots at the King Tiger. There we go. Penetrating hit, penetrating hit. Another hit. And T-70 down. T-3476 on the way there. Quick grenade assault. Almost hit the trick there, almost hit the trick there for Cataclaw. 41 points left. Another T-Fed from the Macos. Munitions, rapid conscription has been entirely forgotten here by Macos. It no longer exists in his mind. As he's been slowly constricted here by Cataclaw. 60 kills on that, looks. 60 kills, almost 60 kills on the King Tiger as well.
The enemy has cut off a sector. We have been reduced to 25 points. Failure is not rewarded.
Oh dear, this is very much looking at GG for Macos. He was doing so well, then once things got sour, he just seemed unable to sort of figure out a plan and just played out severely. Like a man who'd had his belly slashed open with a really nasty looking knife here, in this case wielded by Cataclaw. They're pointing up, there you go, veteran opposition family, it's just not enough, and there you go, GG. A close victory here for Cataclaw, a bit bloody again. Macos was doing quite well, but again, once that King Tiger hit, basically, Macos' ideas went completely out the window. He threw infantry at it instead of just trying to play around it. He didn't go in for the tank shows quickly enough either. He just sort of went south. He just suffered huge losses. He stopped using munitions. He stopped using rapid conscription. He probably needed more then than ever. And he just sort of completely went sour as Cataclaw just sort of solidified his code on the map then again. Had he just been a bit more sort of mobile and fleet on his feet there, he might be able to easily outplay Cataclaw and just grab the points there. I mean, Cataclaw in that sense made a really risky move in going for the King Tiger. Could easily have backfired on him, but in this case, again, Macos' choices, in short, he didn't go, get punished too badly. But Cataclaw's sort of game there was quite interesting in some senses. Perhaps a few less foxes would have made more interesting, but there you go, still well played. Good use of the looks. I mean, that was some really good play there. 60 kills, Vet 75. Not bad at all. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gives you different matches. Maybe something about rapid conscription. If it did, why not subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send a replay and find some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.